Welcome to War Table Printing and Painting. My name's Jay. Today I'm going to be finishing the Ork Lootas box set. Now, what I decided to do is I was wanting these for a game I was going to be playing on the weekend. So I decided to see if I could speed paint them and get them done basically to a table ready standard, which is higher than the GW standard. So to speed things up, I started with using the airbrush to do a black primer. And I decided to do a zenithal prime also. And I went a little farther than that because I've been seeing a lot of people showing how they do a shade of color after the zenithal too, to give it more, make it more dynamic. So what I decided to do was use Thousand Suns blue with a little bit of white in it. I really liked how this worked too. It worked really well. It made it a lot more interesting. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel and get this thing started, don't forget to subscribe and like. Also, to help support the channel, I have links for some Amazon things to help with airbrushing. I'll have links for this new set of paint I have. It's like 44 paints plus 6 thinners for like $40. It's an amazing deal. I've been using them to do my terrain and I really like them a lot. They work really well. You don't have to use too much thinner. Every once in a while I put a little thinner in it. But with this was the Thousand Suns blue and the white. And I just mixed those up and used those to do a color shade over top of the zenithal highlight. I just ended up dumping it straight in there. It took me a minute. I had to put a little water in there to get it going. Just if you have this problem, you can take a cap of water and put it in your paint, like a cap like this. Just a little water cap from the top of a water bottle, and just dump that straight in there and shake it up real good, and that'll usually get it moving enough to get it into the airbrush if you're trying to use GW paints to airbrush with. That's why I ended up getting a set. It's so much nicer to have actual airbrush paints, and yeah, they're not the exact same colors as the GW line, but they're very close. So this is what my result was with that. I ended up liking it so much I pretty much just put a nice coat of it on all of them, just because I really like the look of it. I started with some Wa Flesh for the base, and it looks really good when it's over top of this color too, and it starts shading it immediately. I do really like this a lot better than just using the black and white method for sure, and I think I'll be doing this from now on. So this is definitely a good tip if you're learning to, how to paint. I definitely recommend trying this method. It definitely gave me great results. I really liked the results. It seemed like it helped make the painting go faster too. So I really enjoyed this method, and I highly recommend giving it a try. If you thought about giving it a try, you should. After I finished up with getting the base on the arms, I decided to use some Leviathan blue and use that to start the pants, because I wanted them all to have their blue pants. That's just how I tie my orcs together for my Death Skull army. Is I usually make sure they have some blue pants as their one piece of blue gear that's on every orc. They got a factory of blue pants. There's the Leviathan blue. It's a contrast paint from GW, and it's definitely good for starting a base. I don't use them as a contrast paint, like just, okay, now we're going to put this on here, and then that's going to be it. We're going to leave it like that. Because it doesn't really look that good, I don't think. Sometimes you can get an alright look with your first coat of contrast paint on something, depending on how you do it. But you definitely have to super set it up with a base color sometimes underneath of it beside white. White does work, And I love, a lot of people say, you know, to base in black, it makes it easier. And it does. It definitely makes it easier to base in black to get all those little nooks and crannies. And it also helps with the shading. But it also makes you a little bit lazier of a painter, I think. When I started using white to base with or prime with, I noticed I started getting a lot better at painting, because it forces you to actually paint the model all the way. You got to really look for every little detail and nail it. And painting in white forces you to do that. So if you're trying to up your game, I highly recommend basing in white and then painting. It can be a lot more challenging, but if you're looking for a challenge and you're trying to become, you're more than just a basic beginner, which I think a lot of people who watch these videos are, then that's where that's a place you could go to start becoming a better painter. It would definitely help you, I think. Next, some of my giant bottle of Earth Brown to start the base color for the base. And this is something new too I've started doing recently, especially with my orcs, was when I actually ended up going with an orange Mars looking base instead, because it's such a good contrast to these guys. And it looks so good. After I saw it, I had to start. Basically, I changed all my orc bases, or going to be changed to Mars style bases. And I can go ahead and tell you how I do the Mars style bases now. Basically, what I do is I'll put down a rise. I might start with something like this just to get it going and get the color started. But next, I'll throw down a heavy layer of riser rust, and then the technique I started using, which gets a really good, is I got some pigments, and I'll use some rust style pigment and put that on the base, and then take some Cassandra yellow shade from GW. It's like all their shades, it's real watery, and I'll put that over top of the pigments to help get the pigments to seep into the cracks, and it gives it a really good look, I think. You'll be seeing that here soon in the future. So for now, I was just doing them this way because this is the way I've done most of my bases for a long time. But like I said, after I figured out this way to do it, this new way for my orcs, I'm definitely going to be doing my whole orc army like that, because that's a great way to tie your army together, is to make sure all the bases look very similar. It'll really give your army a good look and make it real uniform and seal it together. I use Steel Legion Drab for any belts on the orcs. Also, if they have any pouches, it's a good thing for that. Any leather looking bits, I like to use Steel Legion Drab to start basing those bits. And as usual, just go around each model, finding all the little leather belt bits and things like that. Anything you want to look leathery, and go ahead and start hitting it with this. And this guy, I'm going to be doing almost all of his armor to be leathery, so I just went ahead and did everything like that color. And then I'll later go over, I'll maybe make his belts black or something like that, just to give it a little difference. That's the good thing about the orcs, is you can just change each one up a little bit just to give them all a little bit of a different look, but keep elements similar. Obviously their skin and things like that. The other cool thing about the death skulls is you can paint them blue, or at least parts of them blue, since they like blue so much. So like they have war paint and things like that. I always like that about them. I like Rakarth flesh for teeth and horns. I'm just going to let some of the painting play here or there without me talking, so you guys can just take it in what I'm doing. Alright, some gray night steel for any metal bits, and I'm also going to use this to cover the guns, to get the base on the guns. Definitely things like the helmets, the metal bits on the front of the chest plate, things like that. And you can also, I also like to vary my metal bits a lot by using other colors and, different metal colors, just to make everything look a little bit more interesting, and so it's not all just the same color. That's definitely something you really want to do. If you're trying to speed paint, yeah, go ahead and maybe just stick to one or two. But once you start wanting to get them looking a lot better later, because you can always go back into your models. That's the great thing. You don't have to always leave them the way they are. And now I'm just using some Peel Tan Green to start shading the model's flesh. Some Calidor Sky for just making it look a lot better, because just using, like I said, that Leviathan blue, it wasn't enough. And like I said, I'm just getting these to the point where they're going to be able to have their guns stuck on them. Maybe not even all the way. Right now you can actually put the guns on them and keep them loose and they'll still stay in place. So that's probably what I'll do when I go to play the game. I'll also, when I do finish painting these, I'm going to super paint them guns. And I'm also going to show the end result when they're all done and really super nice looking, beside just the game ready versions I'm going to show at the end of this. Some Mechanicus Standard Gray, one of my new favorite colors to use for stuff. I'm going to use this for the boots. Definitely a good boot color to start with. Just a nice base gray. Get those boots done. Like I said, again, this is how you would go about just making something game ready, where it's not going to be super highlighted and shaded all the way. It's going to look good, but not as good as probably another, 10 hours for each model maybe, or maybe a little less. Alright, some moot green to just put some highlights on them, and as you can see, they're getting really close to done as far as a game ready done. And one of the reasons I wanted to get these guys ready was I wanted to run up. Actually, I ended up getting another box of them, and I'll show them off too because I've already done all this. So I've specially put together a whole nother set, and I customized those so that they don't look exactly the same as these guys. So I'm going to show those guys off pretty soon too. And here they are, definitely to a GW game ready standard and beyond, because GW just says all you have to do is put one color on and a shade and then do a base. So I mean, this is way more than that, but yeah, so it's not that hard to do something like that in 24 hours. As you can see, it's really not. They don't look terrible. I mean, yeah, they definitely could use a little bit more detail work and stuff, and I'm going to definitely do that, and you'll see that here in a future video. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.